So, welcome everyone, and today I'm just going to admit some more people. So today we have our second webinar in our Back to Business Week, and today we are cooperating with our partners Sodexo and SPIE, and the topic is technology meets facility services post-COVID-19. I would like to start by thanking our two speakers, Kim Kreber from Sodexo and Jacco Samon from SPIE. Thank you very much. Two very experienced people in both their own expertise, so it's very complementary. So I'm very happy to have you here today and that you're willing to share your knowledge with us. To start with the lady, Kim Kreber. Kim is Director Marketing and Communications at Sodexo. And these past few months, you and your team focused on managing the crisis from a communication point of view. Sorry, I have to admit, still people getting in. You're developing the services which support organizations in their safe return to work. And of course, you're helping Sodexo as well for the next normal.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank
and
you.
You're Innovation and Business Development Director. You have a broad market knowledge and you have a great slogan. I want to start with that. It's not about the destination, but it's finding the road to travel. I love it. So your market knowledge, the innovations, the holistic approach, the technical solutions, if you do know, and that's what you say, tell your clients, if you know your destinations, but you do not know the way to travel, you're the one to put your business in the right direction. And you have created a roadmap, code COVID and beyond. So it's a lovely slogan. I want to start with that.
Thank you.
Questions can be asked in the chat, so do not hesitate to ask them. Let me start by present also quickly the companies. So SPIE, first of all. It's founded in 1900 and it's the global leader in multi-technical services with 47,000 employees. They're present in 38 countries and they're in the top 3 multi-technical service provider worldwide. And then Sodexo, founded in 1966 with 100 million consumers served every day. 470,000 employees and present in 67 countries. And Sodexo is the first France-based private employer worldwide. So today's program, I'm going to give the floor in a bit to Jacco Samon first. Both Kim and Jacco are going to speak about the crisis approach of SPIE and Sodexo. We're going to speak about the work environment now and in the future. And we're going to look beyond the work environment. Before I do so, I have a poll and I would like to launch it. The poll is anonymous, so you can answer anonymously. I'm going to launch it now. And then you have a few seconds to answer. So in what way was your organization prepared for the crisis? A few seconds before. Yes, perfect. I'm going to share the results with you. It's an interesting division. It's 42% who said they were well prepared and known with crisis management. 33 said somewhat prepared. And 25% was totally surprised, learning crisis management on the job. Thank you very much for this first poll. There will follow others during the presentation. And I'm gonna give the floor now to Jacco.
Yes. Good afternoon, all of you. I hope you managed the crisis to get into this call. I did. It took a while, but it's okay. Thank you, Sylvie, for introducing ourselves and our companies. And we are happy to talk about, together with you, about the crisis approach of SPIE. But as SPIE is a company well known for taking advantage in service and in maintenance, but also in projects, we have a lot of crisis management. But COVID-19, a not familiar virus, which took us inside. So we have some slides at the deck. So I will continue with the next slide to tell about the challenge of our behavior. Yes, that's the one. It started with this. When our Prime Minister shake hands with the guy on the right is Jaap, and he's the head of the infection department of RIVM. They just announced that it was not able to shake hands anymore. And the first thing they did was shaking hands. So what is a crisis? We can overcome a crisis, but it's all about influence, perception, behavior, and automatic habits. So if you see on the next slide, we'll have the virus. What is it? What is it? On the right side, you see PM10, which is a dust particle. Then on the red side, it's a blood cell. And then you see the ultra dust, where there is a lot of discussion going on now. And then on the left side, you see the coronavirus, the 0.1 mic. So if you want to challenge a crisis, you need to know who is your enemy. The enemy in this case is the coronavirus, and we need to protect our bloodstreams by this virus. And how big is this problem? As you see, it's a very small item, but a very big problem. So that's why we have we will take you through this path together in how to help ourselves and our communities and our businesses related to the COVID crisis. If on the next slide, you see here, the world will change on behavior after COVID-19. It was a pandemic. The question is, are we going back to normal? And what will be changed? And how are we communicating? As SPIE, some parties were having a lot of work again by changing hospitals and getting involved into crisis management for the government. So we have a plan, but the plan is never been finished because we have to change our behavior. So if you look on the, there's another one, because we will share at the end all the presentations as been shown to you, so you can get it. This was a very nice. If the crisis is almost there, how do you manage it? There is always a topic of behavior of people. So the government was in control, the citizens were informed, the crowd was in control, we needed to have a distance, we have face masks, and we have predictive analytics. So finally, this is Amsterdam, where more than a few people were gathered together. How do you manage? This is more or less also our people internally. They are willing to get out, they are willing to serve our clients, but have to take the measurement on behavior. So what we learned from managing the crisis was, be prepared in behavior of people. Thank you. If you, there's one, exactly. The way to approach it, it's working related to urbanization, leisure, mobility, living and working. So this is something we get back on, but the roadmap should be how to work together in these environments to get on a normal stage back. We do that together with Sodexo, and that's why I may introduce also Kim.
Thank you very much, Jacco, for kicking off, and obviously thank you and welcome everybody in the webinar. It's good to be connected in this way, and thank you also for taking the time to join Jacco and me here. Sylvie already introduced Sodexo a little bit. We're quality of life. We deliver quality of life services, and in the Netherlands at this moment we provide on-site services in segments like corporate services, so business and administration, government services, healthcare, energy and resources, and universities. And we provide food services, facility management services, like for example cleaning, hospitality services, and so on. And with this broad range of services, we are also able to provide integrated facility management. So taking care of the management and execution of all other services on site. And we're a proud supplier of national clients like, for example, KLM, UWV, DAF, but also international clients like Unilever and Johnson & Johnson. And if you could go, yeah, you could click. You can click it through immediately. It's fine. Thank you. So what I wanted to do with this slide is show you how we basically handled the crisis, or started to handle the crisis, to give you some insights and context. Because in the poll I clicked on, we were experienced with crisis management and we were well prepared, and that's also obviously, although it was an unprecedented situation, you could say Sodexo basically was made for this moment, because serving people in need is really in our DNA. And when COVID-19 struck across the globe, we could really focus on the quality of life, because it has never been so important in terms of health and safety, but also in terms of convenience services, because everything suddenly, basically from one day to the other, worked in a different way. And when COVID-19 appeared in Asia, because obviously we're a global player, Sodexo was also one of the companies who were active in that region at the time. So we can nobody in Wuhan, luckily, of our employees was struck by the coronavirus, but we were really able to get a lot of experience from the situation as it came to the Netherlands. So we were already preparing as of January, basically, and with the crisis team in the Netherlands, we formulated 3 priorities. First of all, health, business continuity, and finance. And obviously health is the most important, and as a global leader in quality of life services, the health of our employees, clients, and customers had the first priority. And we provided protocols for our employees and our clients, and acquired PPE material at a very early stage, and also developed early services like signing and so on. The second priority was the continuity of our business, and at that time in the Netherlands, we went into a smart lockdown, as you might know, and a lot of clients immediately closed their restaurants, while others, like hospitals and justice, for example, which are clients of ours, continued. And to make sure we could deliver, keep continuing delivering our services, we made special agreements with suppliers, and also our employees showed maximum flexibility in working and supporting colleagues in vital jobs. Finance obviously was our third priority, because since a lot of services closed down, revenues were going down, and most costs like labor obviously were continuing. And we really focused on negotiating with our clients to make sure that we could deliver our services and keep paying our suppliers to keep the chain going as good as possible. And one thing I'm absolutely very proud of is that in the group, so Sodexo Group launched an employee relief program. It's a global program on a scale to help vulnerable employees of Sodexo which face financial problems due to the crisis. And it's funded by parts of the salary of the group comics, but also bonuses of the management. And we launched a similar program in the Netherlands, basically. If you could go to the next slide. Then we look into what is changing in the workplace, because we see that there are 5 drivers, basically, which change or influence the change of the workplace most. And I would like to briefly look into these. So first of all, the changed expectations around food, because obviously, yeah, it goes more and more towards digital ordering, grab and go. People want their food packaged because of the sanitary crisis, obviously. Second one is physical and mental health, which are expected to be huge concerns. Obviously, the physical health is now a very important theme, but due to the suddenly changed situation and the way people have to adapt to the new normal, which is still yet unclear of what it will be, we really pay a lot of attention to also mental health. The third, which will definitely impact well, the workplace, and we are all already experiencing it, obviously, is that COVID-19 is here for the medium term. So some will say we expecting 2 or 3 waves, and nobody obviously knows. But we have to be prepared for that and to adapt to that situation as soon as possible. Fourth one, economic slowdown and experience with remote working might trigger new workplace projects, and that really is something which we're seeing a lot. So people slowly start getting back to the office, and well, I'm here in our office, and I really enjoy also going back to the office. But a lot of people also like the flexibility of working from home. So in a lot of cases, and definitely for the food services of our business, that will mean, well, quite a change in well, how we act in our business model. And the fifth one, very important, also the new reality will let us look differently at environmental sustainability. So we obviously saw a lot of focus on deterioration of single-use plastics, but as COVID-19 struck, the request for a packaged food, for example, is increasing again, and local is an important topic. So that's something which is happening now, and everything basically is underpinned by by digital. And Jacco will get back to that. I know that, but it's actually the enabler for all the for the new normal, basically. If we could go to the next slide. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the RISE services. So RISE with Sodexo services we launched to help our clients get back to business in a safe way. So in countries which we are opening, we see 3 stages. So basically you have the pre-opening stage, the preparing for the restart, and preparing services, preparing measures, and communicating with employees. And then secondly, the stage of reopening, so opening the doors, letting employees in step by step into the next phase of the new normal. And then the phase we don't yet know all is what the new normal look like, obviously. And now in the Netherlands, we see a lot of organizations are in pre-opening phase, and preparing to reopen has started, basically. And if you want to look at it in a systematic approach, what we try to do, obviously, to roll it out and to be able to roll it out to different sectors and clients, is that we see the 5 pillars. So prepare, protect, enable, support, and optimize. And also for each stage, you can use the different mechanisms to start up. So first identify and assess, then you design the solution, then communicate, and then obviously operate it. And if you could go to the next slide, I just wanted to give you a brief overview on how we approached our service offer for our clients. And that is, we did that from the employee journey perspective. So basically each step in the journey, in each step of the journey, the client has a certain demand and a certain need, which we find a solution, to which we find a solution for them to operate the workplace in a safe way. And if you go to the next slide, you can see what kind of services under each pillar basically we developed, and it's too much to go through it. But basically what we did is that we launched our services and based on the employee journey, and we're helping clients to start up in a safe way. And obviously along the way, because we did that in quite an agile way, we adapt constantly to the needs of our clients and add innovations, or might also skip some solutions which in the meantime are not that valued by our clients at that moment. But it's a continuous evolvement of the package of services. Well, as I said, we really want to support a safe environment for our clients. And apart from that, we've started the services. We started a cooperation with Bureau Veritas globally, and we offer a safety label for the workplace, which definitely also with which we help clients basically to have a safe workplace, and give also their employees the feeling that they can get back to work and work in a safe environment. So that's also very good to mention. It still has to be launched, so you have a premiere, but that's at least in the Netherlands. So that's that. So if you could go to the next slide, then I will round up. Because future themes, and Jacco will go into that topic further. To be quite honest, I mean, we don't know. We evolve step by step, and obviously look into what's happening and analyzing a lot of insights to make sure that we adapt as soon as possible to the needs. But one thing is sure: the love of food is something which is in our DNA, and that will stay forever. And I think also in the working environment. I mean, food brings connections, comfort, and also in that sense health, and brings people together. And I think in the new workplace, workplaces will be more and more about connecting and getting together, because you're far more working activity based. So if you have to concentrate, well, you might stay at home and work there. But if you need to meet people, want to have a lunch with your colleagues, then food is very very important. And also in terms of health, because what we see, and that's really a trend, is that people are eating more conscious and really based on the needs of their activity also. So that's something we see, and we have, for example, a doctor's order pop-up, which in which the food really is based on the needs of the people. Then on and offline, obviously, is what we already said. People working more from home, and where earlier there still were discussions about can we do that meeting online, or for example a webinar or a presentation. Then this changed in one day, and now I think we need to find the balance between on and offline to get back to the new normal. And obviously quite some transitions are going on. So protein, energy, waste, plastics, and some might be accelerated by the COVID-19 crisis, and others maybe will be drawn to the background a little bit more, because we need to focus on well, living and working together in the new normal. And to close off, and then I'll hand the word to Jacco. Well, it's obvious, but one constant thing is change, and due to Corona, the change came unannounced, and rather the change comes earlier or in a different theme. What remains at Sodexo is we stay close to our employees and our guests and our clients, and continue to focus on quality of life, because that's quality of life services. That's something which gets even more important these days. So thank you for now, and I'll hand over to Jacco.
Thank you, Kim. Maybe just a quick question to Noemi, if there's any questions already in the chat.
No, so far there are not. So feel free to ask any questions if you have any.
Yes.
And Jacco, maybe you would like to start with the poll or not?
Yes, we would like to make a start with the poll, and the question is your work environment already future-proof? And it will come in a few seconds from Sylvie, and you get a chance to answer. Don't make it yourself easy, but be realistic.
It's an interesting, Jacco. 17% said yes.
Can you
50
show? Are you going to show it? Are you going to
Oh,
show
sorry.
it?
I thought I showed it. Here it is. 17% said yes. 50 work in progress. 17 again, not sure, and another 17 no. So
So that's a perfect start of looking for 83% beyond the work environment, which gives us a chance to take you into a new version of how to find out in collaboration. As Kim already told you, it's all about love, and it's all about seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, and smelling. And that's something which is happening in your brain. It's happening in your brain. So where do you start when you need to overcome a situation like this? You will start thinking, feeling, experiencing. So these are some of the questions from the right side to the left side. I will not mention them, but these items are questions in your head playing around. And within SPIE and Sodexo, and also in all other countries and companies, we see that, for example, the social distancing is 1.5 meters in the Netherlands, but it's only 1 in Germany and in France, and it's 2 meters in the UK. So why is there a difference? Difficult question. It's not to be answered in this webinar, but it could be a whole new webinar. But as you see, there are lots of questions with different answers possible. And so we want to take you into our road in order to give you a brief overview of the possibilities sent out by us. So if you show the next slide, Sylv, then from surviving to flourish. We are embracing the new ways of working and business modeling. As you all know, we are in a webinar now, which is a new way. I just get out of a webinar with some colleagues in France and in the rest of Europe, which did not take me 2 hours of travel or 4 hours with a plane or whatever. So it gives me the opportunity to do more, to recover my revenue, to rebuild my operation, to rethink about the organization, and to accelerate the adoption of digital solutions as we are using now. And I don't know if you have heard the news, but the economy in France is going faster on track than expected. So recovering revenue means also that using these new technologies will help people to choose whether they work harder or work cleverer? And it's especially the last topic that will bring back us in a quicker business. So that's why we always start with a webinar to have a little bit of fun, and showing you some special moments and special thoughts. That's why we asked Sylvie to start with this webinar also, because it's important to also know that you are socially welcomed by a digital platform, which called in this day Zoom or Teams or whatever. So I will now take you into a few elements where we have discovered that there are possibilities of your organization to deal with. So in the beginning, we saw a lot of terminal screening. You can use this. It's not allowed to use it for your own staff and your own personnels, but it's been usable for people who are entering your building, who are entering your streets or cities, who are entering your environment. You can just be it gives information to say to the people who are entering, are you sure you want to enter, or do you want to make your choice by yourself because your temperature is a little bit too high? We have a lot of questions from customers related to this, but this gives you a possibility to work together again. And of course, the hygiene on the right side needed an optimization. For example, if you are using it, you need to tap water, but normally you need to tap to screw with your hands the tap. We as SPIE and also Sodexo knows that it's important to have a clean screw where there are no bacteria on site, and that you can use an eye in the crane so that water flushes by the eye, so you don't have to touch it. And then one special one on the left side, we put it in because it was related to buildings also. If you have stopped pushing water through a pipe or in your building, you need to take care of the hot systems. It was a period when in the COVID time, there was a lot of temperature rising and a lot of temperature behind and inside buildings. If the water comes above 35, 36 degrees, the system will grow not only COVID, but also Legionella, which is a bacteria where you get very ill from. So take care of this if you are in any business, and advise your customers that we have opportunities and possibilities to take care of that. So on the next slide, you will see that we have put also for cities the possibility to manage the crowd. Governments needed to get in control. They were first 2 days out or 2 weeks out, and then get back on the seats and say, okay, let's find out what technology is. I know that Hugo de Jong, the Minister of Health, has also mentioned that technology will help us overcome this crisis. And I'm convinced that he is right on that. Why is technology helping? Because it brings data. It brings additional information which we didn't know, and where we are capable of handling people in a right way. It's not to make people afraid in the head, and definitely not to make people dangerous guys or dangerous ladies and everything what will happen, but it's to give information towards. And the governments need to be very open in that and show what they do with the data. So if you are with your customers or with your clients in a conversation, please ask what they do with the information and the data collected. So for example, the crowd control technology, do you want to see faces or recognize faces? No, you only want to count people and how much in a square area. To inform the street or to inform the city environment, to say, okay, there's a max of 1,000 people. They are allowed to get in. We are now at 999. Please stop, wait for a few minutes, and somebody will walk out. It's to protect your area. Citizens need to be informed. Of course, it's not only the newspaper anymore, which brings sometimes difficult news, but also inform your citizens by using applications, websites, and all kinds of digital things. So if you see, there's a lot of possibilities in the urbanization and government, and we also put one sheet related to the to what also Kim mentioned, was that we need to be protect, to enable and to support our people in a new way of working. We spoke about Sodexo. Sodexo is servicing a lot of companies, but also they will change in servicing maybe employees who are working at home. I would love to have a coffee right now, or to be able to do a very good a working environment. So on the left underneath, you see work from home will continue. Yes, it will. We have to be prepared, and we have to protect ourselves against the virus, which is still there. So we need to work from home. This working from home will not, it's not so simple, because sometimes people have children, sometimes people are not having a big room where there's enough space. So you have to find, together with your colleagues and your environments around, future home possibilities to work from. So that's something we offer, but we also advise. And there's always the online. We found out that if you are too much online, you will grow in weight. So the average weight of the corona is 2.4 kilos. So you need to do something else in between. You may be always online, but there are systems which blocks you and gives you a hint. Go a little bit for a walk, go with a dog, talk with your neighbor from a distance of 2 to 3 meters, of course, but do something else in between, what you are normally do when you are working. Nobody is working 8 hours continuously back online. So please take that into consideration. And that's not for the short term, but it's definitely also for the long term. And then, of course, you have these outside factors. We got questions from customers who ask, can you reduce the sound of children on the other side? Yes, it's possible, but is it necessary? It's nice to hear a dog barking, or it's nice to have the social elements inside. So think about that, and look forward to the ways coming up. So we have another one, which is very nice. If you are working in your in a higher building, you need to get up to above the 6th floor. So we got questions from customers: how can I go to the 7th floor and above? Because my elevator is only giving space to 2 people. And if you have one or more than 100 people going up, you need to wait for more than almost an hour. So the new way of looking forward to COVID would be that on the outside, maybe new elevators will be installed, but maybe architects will decide whether they make connections between buildings in order to help each other by getting up to the right floor. And it's not the first 6 floors. At the beginning of this webinar, we had a nice discussion with Kim. We can run to the 6th, but if you do that daily by daily, 2 times a day, it's okay. But if you need to run many, many more times, it's difficult. So if you look at the spaces and the rest, there are possibilities how to run outside when there is a fire. If you all use the same door, it could be that you are not in a distance from 1.5 meter. So redesigning of workspaces is necessary. And I saw a question coming in, and on the next slide, we have the ones where you can see on the left down under is filtration to clean air. What's happening with the COVID virus? From the beginning of, it was in March when we introduced to the REVM, a lot of Twitter messages and saying, take a look of where the COVID virus started. You all know that it is started in Wuhan, but you all know that it was started in the north of Italy. These areas, and in the Netherlands, it was started at some areas where there's a lot of dust, a lot of ultra dust, and a lot of areas where they have a lot of pollution of the air. What does that mean for the virus? If there's a lot of pollution in the air, you can remember my first sheet with the red bullet, where you saw the little part of the COVID, and the big parcel of an ultra dust particle. It will jump on and it will flow through the air. They now find a difficult word which is called aerosol, and they use it from the government now, and you need to be protected. So if you have a building, you need to check your filter installations. You have to take care about recycling the air. It's better now to not recycle, but to flush the air from outside inside. This is possible during summer times, but it's not possible during winter times, because then you are losing a lot of heat, which you need to protect yourself against the cold and to reduce the energy transition. So it's a combination between filtration, measurement of your systems, and building up the right office climate. And of course, everybody has his own opinion, and that's why this is a webinar. So that's why we go to questions and answer. The filtration is very clear. We can filter everything because technology is available for filtering the coronavirus. In one of our suppliers has a filter which is even filtering 1/10 of the diameter of the COVID virus itself. So they are able to do this. Is it easy? No. Is it scientifically being written? Yes, but the government is always looking, okay, if we want to reduce dust, we reduce the amount of transport of COVID. So what you saw was that there was little planes, little cars, and less transport. So in the future, there will be much more transport again. The question is, what will be the combustion of the air pollution? If we keep it low, we reduce the risk of COVID transport. So take that into account for the long term and also for the midterm if you go on holiday. And then we will end with the sheet, which I love. It's digital, it's a game changer. Think about digital transformation. We don't have all the answers, but we believe that digital transformation has the future for new way of working and living together. So it's not us only, it's Sodexo, it's SPIE, it's the CCI together, which makes it possible to share knowledge, to go further and to think beyond what we know. And if you go beyond what you know, you have learned something. It's quite simple. So we have, there's one question in between. No. We have now the questions and answers, Sylvie.
Yes, and I think you wanted to launch one poll.
No, I see there's something getting in from Nomi. I'm not able to, I can
So
something.
my question was like, will there be any accreditations for buildings such as, to be like a COVID-free building, or will it be mandatory for buildings to have the filtration of the air, or for the toilet, as you said earlier, no screw water? Would it be mandatory for buildings or
no?
not?
No. At the moment, what we see is that it is applicable to if you want to use it. But when COVID started, it was a crisis. When COVID is now more known, it will be like normal. In the future, new buildings will probably adapt it to the new ways of living and working environment. But the old ones are maybe not being updated as well as you want.
Yeah, Jacco, and maybe to add to that, Noemi, is that as I briefly explained, we've together with Bureau Veritas developed an audit for buildings, and we developed a label which basically says it's a safe environment, and based on certain criteria, audits are being done, and we can offer that to clients to have basically a safety label in terms of the criteria with regards to a safe working environment in terms of COVID.
I'm asking this because from what I've known, I think it's this year or maybe next year, all buildings in the Netherlands, we have to have like a C label for energy. And I thought maybe this will be mandatory for buildings. And I thought, okay, maybe for the crisis, that will be mandatory as well for buildings to be COVID proof. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. But the government is looking to label safe for the last 15 years. So if you look to the COVID environment, you need to have a quick and very quick solution. And as you know also, SARS-1, it was been 10 years ago. SARS-2 is now, and the expectation is that SARS-3 will come in another year. So getting a completely mandatory accreditation of COVID proof and COVID free will be very difficult. I strongly advise people, if you have or if you know people of COVID, please take care of your health and make sure that healthy inspections will be done yearly, because a lot of people, only around 1% is been dying of COVID, and the rest is dying because of the underlying systems which they already have. So it's what you see in hospitals is that technology by deep learning will help finding more diseases which will be triggered if you have COVID and in a death situation. But you can overcome this situation if you find them very early. So that's what we think and what will be done in the years to come. That there will be a lot of upfront measurement of people to protect them to get ill, and that can be done by technology.
Are there any other questions? This is your chance to ask directly to the experts, so take it, I would say.
And if after the fact there are questions, then obviously get in touch any time. Huh?
Yeah. No more questions, Noemi? Is there anything coming in the chat?
No, I do not see anything. I have one more question, if I may.
Of course.
As you said, Kim, earlier, people are actually looking to have more food which is packaged, individual packaging, and in Sodexo, in the route you've taken and what you've identified was as well to be more sustainable. So are you working to have packaging made of like recyclable plastic or paper, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's a combination. Obviously, when you look into the regulations, basically it's not in all cases needed to deliver packaged food. So it's more a perception basically of the consumers. But obviously that's important because you need to make the consumer feel safe and support the clients with that. So yes, we use more packaged food than before COVID. We're very conscious of sustainability and really determined all single-use plastic from all our restaurants over the past year or in the past year. And what we see is it's going a little bit up at this moment because you have to move very fast, obviously, but we're looking for the mid and longer term, obviously, into more sustainable solutions like paper or alternative reusable plastics or more sustainable plastics or alternatives. Yeah, definitely very important.
Thank you.
Well, if there's not more questions, I think I'm gonna finish up. Of course, by thanking Kim Kreber and Jaco Saman for sharing your expertise. It was very interesting, and I think each company should have this information because I think it's it's just necessary in order to have a safe working place, and that's what everyone wants, of course, for their colleagues. So you already said that we can share the presentation, Jacco and
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
So what we'll do, we will put the webinar also on the website with a presentation, and then one of you who would like to share it also within your own company, you can. And I really think it's necessary for everyone, because it's the basic to go back to work. And yeah, so thank you so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. And yeah, if any of you from the audience still have any questions for Kim or Jacco, do not hesitate to contact us or them directly, and they can answer or help you with implementing
Thank you very much.
your work safe environment. So thank you
for
very
the
much.
opportunity.
And we'll speak soon. And enjoy your summer.
Yeah. Stay
Very
safe.
important. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.